Welcome to my end of the year look at the rookie leagues in Arizona and the Dominican. To help us today, we're going to look at some numbers, and we're going to go to Fangraphs here at fangraphs.com, and we're going to click on prospects, and then we're going to click on something called the board, scouting and stats. And we close this, yada yada yada. And there are three tabs at the top. There's the board, and MILB leaderboards, which is what we're going to click on. And then we're going to go over here and collect the Cubs. And then we're going to go down and we're going to start in the Dominican first. And there's just a few key things we need to do. So we want to set some minimum at bats. So we're going to go with 50 at bats, and we can see Adon Sanchez and Jose Escobar are the two leading hitters in terms of batting average. In terms of home runs, we have Jose Herrera and Jose Escobar with 4, and Escobar leads everybody in runs and everybody in RBI. But when we start to look at who's having some success there, we're going to click on the advanced button. What I like to look at is the walk percentage. And we can see Offerman Hernandez, who's actually had a semi-decent year, is doing very well at 19.4%, along with Luis Mazza at 22. We also want to take a look at K percentage, and we want to click on it again to see who's not striking out a lot. There's Jefferson Rojas, Carlos Altuve, Adon Sanchez, and then way over here we're going to click on WRC+, and that tells us that Adon Sanchez and Jose Escobar are the two leaders in producing runs this year, and they're closely followed by Luzardo Ruiz. And then we find here that we only have 10 guys with a WRC plus of 100 or better, which 100 is considered league average. But we also want to take a look at Alexis Hernandez, because the stats don't tell the whole story here on this page. So we're going to right click on Alexis, open in a new tab, and when we look at his game log, he just got off to an ungodly start. Look at all these games without hits at the beginning of the year. Then he went 11 days without a hit, and then he went another day, had one, went another day, didn't have any. And it really wasn't until the beginning of June that he started to get on base regularly. So we're going to go up here and see how he's done since June 1st. So we're going to type in 07/01, and we're going to hit update. Boom. And since July 1st, Alexis Hernandez is hitting 333. And we'll click the advanced tab. We can see he has a WRC plus of 132. And look at that OBP, slugging percentage, and OPS. Pretty good since July 1st for Alexis Hernandez. When it comes to pitching in the Dominican, that's where things kind of have gone off the rails. So we're going to go up here, and we're going to click pitchers. And there's a few things I like to take a look at. You got to get rid of position players pitching. I like to see who's thrown some innings. I like to see who strikes out a lot. Guys, I like to see who doesn't walk hitters, which is Yenry Rojas, not a lot. Gabriel Agrizal, who has had a good year. ERA is a stat most of you look at. Kevin Valdez actually got promoted in season from the Dominican to Mesa. But when we look at it, let's go to the standard page and look at it. That way you can see their names better. We're not seeing a lot of guys with ERAs under 4. This guy here, Eligio Paredes, is probably the hottest pitcher in the system in the Dominican. He's throwing very well. If we go down some more, this guy came back from being injured most of the year and struggled since his return. But let's look at who is missing bats. We're going to go to the Advanced tab for that. And we can kind of see here Valdez, Fralin, Silvario, but you need to compare that to walks. And these guys are not walking some, and these guys are walking a lot. So who has the best ratio of strikeouts to walk? You have a few guys there that are mostly relievers, and then you have Diego Dugarte, who has recently moved to a starter. But when we're talking about K percentage, Wilbur has only thrown 11 innings. Johan Crispin will probably come north. Silvario probably could as well, and so could Scarlin LeBron. But there's just not a high amount of guys that have pitched well this year. There's some guys that have potential, and most of these guys, if you look, only 3-4 starters between two teams have an ERA under 4. Then you have 2 right there at 4. But Agrizal probably would be the pitcher of the year in the Dominican. Had Valdez stayed, he probably would have been. All right, let's look now at Arizona. And we're going to take a look at the pitchers there. So we clicked on the complex. And we see my guy, Oliver Roque, who I picked to be the breakout pitcher of the year. He's done really well. So is Tommy Sanchez in relief. He'll probably be at Myrtle Beach later this week, along with Elian Almanzar, who, let's look at his page and see just how good he's been. Currently he has a 2.12 ERA, but we're going to click on game log up here, and we're going to look at the games he's given up runs in. He gave up 3 on June 9th and has given up 4 all year. So since that horrible game, we're going to type in the 10th. We're going to update it, and he has a 0.57 ERA since June 10th. The Cubs took Almanzar out of Darlington Technical Junior College in Darlington, South Carolina, I think. He is now 22 years old, and he's really starting to put things together. The only issue, you can probably see it right there, is 16 walks in 15 innings, but he also has 16 strikeouts. And he's not getting hit a lot. He's only given up 6 hits all year. And if we look at that one start, way down, oh, it's not there. If we look at that one start, that day he gave up, he didn't give up any hits. He walked 3 guys in 1/3 of an inning. That was not a good day. All right, back to the stats here. So we're not seeing a lot of high-end pitching, which might explain why the Cubs took 15 pitchers in the draft. Keep an eye on these 2 guys, though. They missed a lot of bats. Kenny Perez and Michael Arias. And my guy, Dom Hambly, coming on strong. Let's look at Dom. He's pitched well as of late. He's really struggled to start the year. Cubs took him out of high school in Canada, and he barely pitched last year. But, 2 of his last 3 outings have gone pretty well. But for the most part, he's really struggled, as he's struggled to find the strike zone. He's struck out 29 in 25 innings, but he's also walked 23. And you can see all these hit totals going down, 2, 3, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. He's starting to figure things out. If he doesn't let guys get hits, as you can see, he does well. Then again, that's not rocket science. Let's take a look at the hitters now in Arizona. So we're going to go back up here and click on this tab. And we're going to scroll to the top of the page. And we're going to click hitters. There we can see all sorts of things. And so we need to filter some of these guys out. Some of the rehabbers. So we're going to click 50 guys, 50 bats. And we see some familiar names right at the top. Pedro Ramirez leads the system in Arizona at 324, followed by Frank Hernandez at 304. And Frank had started the year in Arizona, went up to Myrtle Beach for a while, and then came back down, and he's done really well since coming back. Christian Moore has also done well this year. I would expect to see Pedro, Frank, and Christian in Myrtle Beach at the end of the week, along with probably Christian Hernandez. And if you're wondering how Christian is doing, it's kind of a mixed bag. 266 he does in terms of RBIs. He's second on the team in runs batted in. He's third on the team in home runs with 3. Then again, not a lot of games, 43 games. He's going to play 140 next year at Myrtle Beach at age 19. So if we go to the Advanced tab, we can kind of go over here to WRC Plus and see none other than Pedro Ramirez and Moises Ballesteros over there. Ballesteros has been up in Myrtle Beach for a few weeks now, and even he's struggling a little bit. Christian Hernandez is at 91, but there's just a group of about 4 or 5 hitters there who look like they could contribute next year at Myrtle Beach. Some of them will contribute here the last 2 weeks of the year, but they'll start the year there next year. If we look at batted ball, you really get a better idea of, let's take a look at line drive percentage. Pedro Ramirez, 25% of batted balls, line drives. Ground balls, oof, 61%, that's not good. But who's not hitting it on the ground as well, and you can see who's using the field the most, Christian Olivo. And of course, the old swinging strike percentage. Olivo more, not swinging and missing much. Christian Hernandez swings and misses 38.5% of the time. But he's also seeing the most pitches in the system, hands down, at Myrtle Beach. All right, that's kind of where they're at here with just a couple days left. Next week I'll have the yearly All-Star team and the Rookie League recap, but today I wanted to just do a video. Have a good day.